I'm so glad that my mic decided to mess up as I was recording this one last week because TCGO servers are offline today, and I was like, I want to upload something, but I don't have anything except for the thing I was going to upload last week, but now I have for this week. Excellent. Yes! Welcome to TCGO. I'm running Cacturne Mr. Mime. And before you're wondering, well, what the shit does that do? Let me sit you down and explain to you the thing that Cacturne does. First off, Cacturne doesn't really do anything. I mean, for one grass energy, flip ahead for poisons. It helps if you're already going to be in the active in the first place. I don't know what else I would like in the active. I guess probably a Cacnea. I don't like putting them in danger, especially against Darkrai. But seeing as how it is the main attacker, they're going to have to enter the front line eventually. So right now, I do have a Silver Bangle, just because it does help turn the 3-hit KO on EXs into a 2-hit KO. And then if you get Laser Bank going, well, that's just pretty nice too. It adds a useless 30, but everything is about magic 30 numbers in this deck. Cacturne's first attack hitting for 60 damage for one grass energy. Let me reiterate that. 1 for 60, but it does do 30 to one of your own, which is why you run Mr. Mime to negate the extra 30. With the Silver Bangle, it does one grass energy, does 90 damage. With the Laser Bank tossed in there, that's an extra 120. Oh, but that would be only to an EX. Otherwise, it would just be... It's a pretty steady, like, 2 to 3 hit KO on just about everything else. And the best part is they're all level ballable. They're all kind of weak, but it kind of works out sometimes because you can just get stuff set up really quick. Like, all you need is just a 1 energy, and you are, like, golden. So, I can see that my opponent's running some kind of Darkrai variant. I think he attached a Float Stone onto Darkrai, which, seeing as how Darkrai has the ability for free retreat anyway, it means he's probably planning on shutting it down. And he's running Darkrai Garbodor, which is what everybody else these days is running. All of a sudden, this deck just magically got a lot of attention, and everybody's just playing it. So you might kind of think that it'd be shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, but Darkrai's main ability, honestly, is just like, well, I'll put Float Stone on it because it's a 2 retreat otherwise, but it helps because Darkrai works fast without it anyway. It's thanks to items, not thanks to retreat. Right here, I Tool Scrapper off both of those because I do happen to have it in my hand. And then I'm just going to play down Fairbank City Gym because I know I do plan on evolving that active Cacnea anyways. So not a big deal if I stack my own poison damage because I'm not going to have it much longer. I'm going to put another grass energy down on that guy. And there's a weird number of cards left in my hand. I think I'm deciding to undo that. And then I'm going to, I believe I'm going to Ultra Ball the Colress and the grass energy, and I want to save my computer search for later just in case I actually might need it for like a laser or something like that, a bangle. I do run 4 in here, so maybe that's super rod late game in case it's hiding in my deck somewhere. I don't need to discard it yet. So gonna get the Cacturne up, and I'm pretty confident in my ability to either come into an Ultra Ball or a Mr. Mime off of this, and it turns out I top decked the Mr. Mime, which is absolutely fantastic. Gonna put that down and then get another Cacnea going on, and this means that I can now Rapid Fire Needles for 90 damage, do 0 to my own bench, and all of a sudden he's got 140 damage. He's only got 1 energy on the board. So if he stays in play, he will die next turn, either to poison or to me killing him. But he's got a lot of damage, and he still hasn't responded. I think I went first, though, so that really helps. Problem with this, though, is there's new rule changes coming around. I think it's November 8th or something like that. Whenever the new XY set decides to actually come out, Catcher is going to be on a coin flip. Professor Sycamore is going to do the exact same thing as Professor Juniper, so you can't have both of them in your deck. You can't run like 2 Juniper, 2 Sycamore. It has to be all or none on either one. And what is the last rule change? Oh, you can't attack on turn 1. If you go first, you can't attack. If you go second, you can attack. So I guess this was an old rule thing. I've only been playing since like late Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I think it might have been in playset. I'm not 100%. I honestly do not remember. But those are 3 rule changes that came along after Worlds, I guess. I don't know, they were just kind of thinking about it. They were like, well, we'll roll them out in Japan, and then they finally made it official in the US a couple of days later. So it's like, well, shit. I'm actually pretty glad that he brought Trubbish up on his own accord, because I need Mr. Mime like a fat kid needs cake, because otherwise I'm just going to be shooting myself in the foot left and right. But I'm conflicted between whether or not I want to take 2 prizes or if I want to just knock out the Trubbish right now. I decided knocking out the Trubbish right now is more important. I don't really see this deck run Max Potion as often as I used to see it, just because, I don't know, you're running at the same pace as everybody else now after items and whatnot. I'm just going to laser it because that does get me the extra 10 because it's a 70 HP Pokemon. Seems like kind of a waste to do that, but whatever. So, take a prize on the Trubbish. That's honestly fine by me. I do see him warming up the other Darkrai in the background. Don't get me wrong. That's a thing. I will lose a Cacturne this turn. But the other great thing about Mr. Mime that I think it's going to make it see more play because of Catcher getting nerfed down to a coin flip is splash damage is what people are going to try for now. I mean, the people that will try catchers, people tried reversals a lot, I guess, back in the day. That wasn't really my thing. But what I'm ultimately getting at here is if you can't bring up a bench Pokemon, you can stack residual damage on it, and Mr. Mime blocks all of that. So if you want to deal with something and Mr. Mime's in play, you have to deal with the Mime, and then you can deal with something else. If you're trying to deal with it from the bench, because otherwise it is just going to say fuck you to everything you have in mind. I run Bouffalant in this deck also, and I run 1 Virizion to prevent lasers and stuff going on, because the main energy is grass. So it's like, well, if it's going to be a bench sitter, it might as well be a bench sitter. Ideal situation is 4 Cacturnes and Mr. Mime and a Virizion. It's very flexible, though, because I don't really need that many Cacturnes on the field at one time. It'd be cool to have them all ready to go, just lined up, and like as soon as one dies, get another one going. I don't know, maybe I could get another Bouffalant set up. Looking at my discard pile, there's not a lot discarded, to be honest. I'm okay. I'm definitely doing great for now. Kind of waiting on him to see what he's going to do, and it turns out he finally just retreats and decides to go for the knockout. It's cool, too. I mean, anything that's level ballable dies to a Darkrai's Night Spear, which is pretty unfortunate. But that's how the game goes because he is a big bad boy EX. So, Night Spear, 90 to that. Nothing to the bench. Nothing for you today. But get to promote this other Cacturne, and I'm really tempted to set down Bouffalant. I don't remember if I do. Just because it is a 3 energy requirement, I feel like adding DCEs to this deck would help out Bouffalant as well. But I'm kind of just adding Bouffalant just as a way to say, hey, I can deal with EXs a little easier with Bangle and Laser. With Bangle and Laser, you one-shot EXs with Bouffalant. So, if anything, Bouffalant should kind of be the primary focus. I just really felt like pissing around with Cacturne because I said I was going to, and then I never did. I've gotten rid of a lot of grass energies. That's the one thing I'm noticing. I'm going to put a shit ton, well, not a lot of them. I guess 2. 2 out of 5. That's not really a lot, but considering that it's, I think I have 8 energy in my deck total, it's kind of a lot. So I'm going to Needles here, 60, and then 0, and then he doesn't wake up. So he needs a Float Stone. Actually, no, he needs a Switch. He needs a Switch is what he needs. That's the only way he's going to be able to get out of there. Or if he, for whatever reason, runs Keldeo in here to, use before Garbodor, he needs to set an energy down on that and then Rush Treat. But Full Heal, I know, is out of format. So his only option right here, viable one, I would see in Darkrai Garbodor. I don't even know if that deck runs Keldeo, just to use on the side with Garbodor. Keldeo or Switch, I guess. Kind of just still waiting on him. I don't know. I recorded this with a pack opening. I don't know what happened to the pack opening file, though. I didn't really upload a lot, and I didn't really get a lot, so that's fine. I'm sitting a lot of extra packs right now, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'm thinking about doing a giveaway. I'm not 100% on that yet. The other thing I could do is I could trade around for stuff that I'm still missing, which is basically just, extra coins, Champions Festivals, Tropical Beaches, that kind of stuff. I'm also looking for 2 Secret Rare Blastoises, but that's very low on the list, and it's not for me. So, I mean, if I get them, I get them. If not, I'm not. But I got a lot of packs right now that I can trade around for. I'm completely over Blast. I've got everything I need from that set. It did little to nothing to change how we play, so it's kind of whatever. If anything, World Championships was the one that kind of changed how we play, and I guess kind of how we see the current state of the game, because Darkrai Garbodor, it just exploded after Worlds for whatever reason, and I don't really understand why. I mean, I understand why it works, but I don't know. I'm ultimately trying to get to a point that I'll never get to verbally. It's just, I'll aboard the hype train, I guess. Fuck that. I hate that. That's why I haven't been playing TCGO as much. I'm trying to come up with, these Tier 3 things that'll have fun and just kind of fuck around, like Staraptor, that kind of thing. My friend actually built Staraptor in real life, and he's been playing it. He loves it. But yeah, just no. I don't think I'm gonna build Cacturne in real life. The one I'm running in real life is Tool Time, and I'm having a ball. It is great. I do run switches in this deck because of lasers and all that shit, and also in case a Bouffalon gets stuck in the active, like right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rapid fire needles, do 60 to that, and do 0 to Mr. Mime because Mr. Mime is a bouse. And then just like that, Cacturne took down a Darkrai, and we still have that other Darkrai sitting on the bench with not a lot at all. I think it'll die to a Needles. And just like that, I get a third Cacturne off of my prizes. I think I still have a Cacnea in the discard pile, so this is my limit right here for Cacturnes. If I can't do it with 2 Cacturnes, well, I'm probably gonna lose this one. I think because he's Junipering. I think he's gonna draw into another Dark Energy or Dark Patch. I think he patched that energy on, but I will lose that active one right now. So I have to win the game with 2 Cacturnes and a Bouffalon. I might have another Bouffalon in here. Not 100%, but ideally, I'd like to win with Cacturne. Cacturne and Bangle, or Cacturne and Laser, both would be cool, but not exactly needed. So, just because it goes for 120, and then that's like, if they're stuck in the active spot, then it's 150 going into your turn, and then 180 going into theirs. It's, I don't know, it's kind of pointless. Just to waste it, because like 90-90 will get you the same result at the end of the second turn anyway. Unless they're stuck in the active, in which case, hey, that's cool. You can retreat and maybe get a free turn or do something. But my deck doesn't really have that kind of thing going on where I can just leave something lasered and then retreat and be like, oh, it's time for a setup turn. Best thing I could do is probably Emerald Slash and then get a Bouffalon mostly charged up. But, like, there's not a lot of energy in my deck, as I mentioned. So, 8 is kind of low. I think it's the lowest I've played with in a while outside of Jumpluff, but these light grass decks, I love them. I think they're fantastic. So I see a Trubbish, and I do see an item on it. I believe I can Tool Scrapper. I think I run 2 in this deck. People are starting to run 2 just because Darkrai Garbodor is a thing. That and Tool Time. Getting rid of silver mirrors in the plasma matchup is really important, because if your opponent still has mirrors up by the time that you've run out of your scrappers, then you're kind of hosed. But right here, I should have attached to the one on the bench, the Bangle, but honestly, it didn't really matter at that point, I guess. Just gonna rapid fire needles, which does 90 for 1 grass energy. Darkrai's doing 90 for 3 darks. Get on my fucking level. No, he could do 110 with a Dark Claw, so that's fine. Anything I can do, he can do better because he's an EX, but it's a cool grass alternative. And I'm a Dark type, too. I totally just realized that. Not in the card sense, in the video game sense. Off my prizes, get a Virizi. Yeah, get a Virizi on a Mr. Mime. I think I said something about running like 1. I guess I run 2. I don't really need to run 2. Honestly, I can run 1, and then if I get lasered and I get put to sleep, oh, fucking well, I have switches. Everything's really light on the retreat cost anyway. 1 on everything except for Bouffalon, which is 2. I can't Sky Arrow because it's an evolved Pokemon, and I'd much rather have Veerbank anyway. So, Sableye, I think he's Ultra Balling for a Darkrai, which is fine. That works out great. And the other thing I think he's going to do is he's actually going to evolve his Trubbish Garbodor and attach a tool to it, if I'm not mistaken. He might have been holding out, maybe baiting another Scrapper. I think that happens this turn. I'm like 80% certain, but this video was from last week, so I honestly don't remember. It feels like it did, but probably not. I don't know. I'm waiting on this guy for a little while. So, looking at the field, I have 1 prize left. Everything left on the field is going to take at least 2 hits. So, Floatstone and Super Rod. My option here, I guess, is to start attaching to Bouffalon. I mean, everything else already has energy on it. If it gets captured up, then I can just attach 1 more and retreat it. And I'm just going to Needles this thing. There's no sense in wasting a catcher. I might as well get damage. If he tries to retreat it, I can just catcher it back up, and then that'll be the game. So, kind of worked in my favor for that one. I know he's got a Floatstone, and he's got a Super Rod. With that, oh, and he did have the Garbodor in his hand, but the problem is he shut down his abilities right as I'm going to take the last prize. The other cool thing about Bouffalon in this deck is on top of this deck being like, oh, we'll take advantage of Bangle and Laser on EXs, if Cacturne Rapid Fire Needles onto a Bouffalon, it only takes 10 damage instead of 30, which Ideally, you'd want it to be 0, but in a situation where you don't really have the opportunity to get a Mime on the field, it does all right. I mean, it's not bad at all. And right here, I get lasered and I get put to sleep. If I did not wake up at the end of the turn, I would honestly just throw Virizion down and just say fuck you. But it turns out I did wake up, so I can just catch up to Sableye for the win. So that was a little bit of Cacturne, and it was fun. I played it for a pretty good chunk of time, but all I was running into was Darkrai. And this is probably the best example of Darkrai. Darkrai is just kind of a 50-50 matchup. If it's straight Darkrai, I usually end up losing. If it's this kind of Darkrai, I have a little bit of a better advantage. But I wouldn't really call that representative because I only play like 8 games. So if I play for like a week and a half straight with this deck, I'll let you guys know how that works out. But this was one of the better games from that day, so I figured we'll take it. That works out. That's fine. And that's my video. So if you guys enjoyed this, I'm really praying there was not any audio issues in this because I'm using a completely different mic. If there was, I apologize deeply. I do not have the time to watch my videos over again after they've been rendered and uploaded. So, yeah, let me know how that goes. If it's still going wrong, then it could be something with my computer, and I really don't want that to be a thing. But praying that it worked out. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy it, you can leave a like rating, comment, and subscribe. Do your thing. Do your usual thing. Let me know if you enjoyed it. And that should do it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.